contrarian, leave it to contrarian badass Reggie Middleton. He called the housing crash, he called the collapse of Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers, and the crisis in the Eurozone banking system. Reggie Middleton.
This is the video version of the glossary for the peer-to-peer capital markets concept. I've taken the time out to make this video because many people fail to understand the very concept of peer-to-peer capital markets. And this is perfectly understandable. It has nothing to do with your depth of conscience or ability to understand. The reason is, see, because for the last 2,000, maybe 3,000 years, the legacy banking financial model of hub and spoke, of intermediary, gatekeeper, rent seeker, the grand poobah authoritarian centralized model has been the status quo. For the last 1,000 or 2,000 years, there has not been a true paradigm shift in financial models. You know, you've had the advent of the internet, but the internet has not truly created the type of paradigm shifting change that it has in other industries such as media or public relations. The reason is because there's a very large moat around the financial industry, the regulatory bodies, and it creates a very, very high barrier to entry, okay, and a very, very high expense ratio. On top of that, of course, you need actual capital. With the advent of the blockchain, plus smart contracts, we can use software to fully disintermediate the status quo, the gatekeepers, the rent seekers, the intermediary, the centralized authority. We can also drop expenses to close to zero, bare minimum. We can also eliminate counterparty risk by holding capital in the blockchain versus relying on counterparties to hold capital. We can also eliminate credit risk via the same mechanism. Okay, we increase efficiency, decrease friction, decrease cost, increase speed. It's almost a win-win situation. Is it too good to be true? Of course not. It is the result of the natural progression of technology, and that's what we have. Now, there are a lot of questions that come up. Question number one. One commenter on one of the YouTube videos stated that he realized that we pulled our Veritasium product from public access due to regulatory concerns, and this is true. Now, be aware, no regulatory bodies approached us, have not written any letters. We decided to pull it as a proactive measure because we did not want to have a cease and desist letter. It's not clear whether we were actually in violation, okay, of any particular rules, but it's quite possible, okay, and particularly SCF rules, swap execution facilities, CFTC, etc. So what we were doing is we were rewriting Veritasium, and we're rewriting it on an Ethereum blockchain, right, on a fully centralized, decentralized basis. We're taking the server, we're decentralizing it, we're distributing it fully. We are stepping back, and normally with the current, the extant Veritasium system, we don't hold any customer or client capital at all. We don't stand as a counterparty. You have no balance sheet exposure to us. We cannot alter, frustrate, or prevent your access to capital, which is very good. See, we are a software company and not a financial entity. By fully distributing the server, okay, we have even less control over the process, and we give the users, the peers, and the peer-to-peer transaction full control. Okay, and any control they don't have is automated through the blockchain, as it is with the extant system, but we do control the oracle. Okay, with a fully decentralized system, we're actually pushing even more control and potential risk to the oracle away. In doing this, we believe that we're creating fully autonomous markets, fully autonomous markets. Okay, by definition, there is no entity that can be regulated as a central authority or gatekeeper because we step totally out of that position. Now, worst case scenario, that doesn't work, even though we feel it will work. There's actually no legislation written that says it can't be done, but regulation is not the end-all or showstopper. We can, of course, comply with the regulation like everybody else does. The reason why we're attempting to avoid it is because we're a financial software provider and we're not a financial entity. We don't hold capital, we don't hold assets, you have no balance sheet exposure to us. We cannot frustrate or prevent your transactions. So with that being said, you know, we would like to operate solely as a financial software provider, okay, and not as a financial entity. Worst case scenario, we simply go on, and that is the purpose of the fundraise.